In this video, I want to teach you guys 3 ways that you can cook without using any oil. So you can saute without oil, we're going to cut fat, cut calories, cut toxins, and overall just give you a healthier meal. Hi guys, it's Mona, and today I want to show you 3 really easy tricks that you can do to not use oil. I think oil is a staple that a lot of us kind of rely on, especially for sauteing. I know a lot of times in the past, I didn't even know there was another option to use besides oil. I just thought if you didn't use it, your food would burn. There's kind of 2 reasons you use oil, right? One is probably because of the taste, and 2 is because you don't want your food to burn. If you try cooking vegetables or meat, if you're not vegan or vegetarian, obviously it will burn on the stove. I want to show you some tricks that I use. Just a few things. Number 1, it's always good to try to cut unnecessary sources of fat. So obviously we need a good amount of fat in our diet. We want healthy fats, but in the places where it's almost like a wasted fat where you're not going to enjoy it, and what I mean is like save like the 60 to 80, however many grams of fat you're eating a day. I usually aim for around 60 to 65 grams. Save that for like the olive oil that's drizzled on your salad that you can enjoy, or like an avocado, or just something that you can actually taste and enjoy, versus all the oil you're using to saute. You don't really end up tasting a lot of it, and it's just kind of cooked into the vegetables, and it's just a waste, and you end up getting a lot more than you probably even realize. The first way is simply by baking or roasting. Like, I can't stress enough how useful the oven is. Number 1, it's such a time saver when I'm wanting to cook a meal and don't want to pay attention to it. I have a million things to do. I can just pop it in the oven and not look at it for like 20 minutes until it's done, or however long it is. Number 2, you don't need any oil. Kind of like grilling, but if you don't have access to a grill or it's the winter time, you can just throw it in there on a pan, on parchment paper, on foil, whatever you want, and it cooks so easily. I have cooked everything from like vegetables. Sometimes I'll take mushrooms and chop them up and just pour a little balsamic vinegar on them. You can spice them, you can put lemon juice. Right now I actually have beets that are cooking in the oven, so they're pretty much done. So I want to show you how they come out. Literally all we did, these are fresh beets, so on the root, not canned, not pre-cooked. They're like raw, fresh beets. The peel is still on them. All I did was just cut the root off and rinse them and pop them in the oven. I have them on 425 and it's been 20-30 minutes, I'd say. I wanted to grab a plate just to show you. Just a quick tip on beets. You'll really know when they're ready when you can just slice through them easily with a knife. Really the whole point is how you want to eat them. You can even eat them raw, so it's really personal preference, but I like to roast them, and I prefer how they taste cooked. Comes off really easily. They're really hot. And that's really it. I just wanted to show you don't need oil, you don't need anything. You can just bake them and they come out really good. Another thing I love to bake in the oven are French fries. And I'll take like a sweet potato, or sometimes even just like a red potato, slice it really thin, no oil, just put it in the oven and bake them till they're a little bit crispy, and then you've got French fries. So really, really good trick and easy way to eliminate unnecessary fat, the toxins that can come from heating oil too high, and too many extra calories. All right, so the next trick I have to eliminate using oil for cooking is to use tomatoes. Literally, that's it, fresh tomatoes. Now, when you're picking out tomatoes for this, try to get like the softer, juicier ones. If they're really hard and they're not ripe yet, they're not gonna produce as much juice when you're cooking them. This is all I did. I literally just rinsed them, cut them in big chunks. Some of the juice already from like the water, all of it's kind of in here already. Now, if I turn it on, it's gonna start producing a little more juice, and it just basically makes it so that number 1, you're not burning whatever you're cooking on there. And number 2, it's actually healthier because tomatoes are one food that are healthier cooked than raw. So oftentimes we don't wanna cook food for too long because it ends up killing the enzymes or kills a lot of the nutrients, but tomatoes actually give off more lycopene when you cook them. So it's one food that you can take advantage of cooking, so this is kind of a win-win. I'm gonna show you what happens when I turn it on. Just gonna put it on like medium heat, let that sit here for a minute. So it depends on what you're sauteing, if you wanna use vegetables, if you wanna throw in some cooked rice in here, if you're eating any kind of like fish or meat, or if you're making an omelet. Obviously I'm vegan, so I don't eat those things, but I wanted to show you an example. So I have my Beyond Burger. This is one of my favorite vegan burgers. It's by Beyond Meat. It's the Beyond Burger. It's made with pea protein. But a lot of times when I cook it, it would burn. So I have to have some other alternative to oil. Sometimes I bake it, and sometimes I just add a little tomato. Almost gives it like some good extra flavor too. To be honest, you don't have to wait for the tomatoes to start cooking to throw the burger in. You could do it after, but it's a little better to wait. And a lot of times I'll do like an onion too. So if you chop up an onion and tomatoes and let it simmer like that, it's really good. Now we have to just wait.
A few moments later.
So now that the tomatoes have gotten a little heated up, you can actually, I don't know, you probably can't hear it in the video, but they're like sizzling a little bit. I'm gonna throw my Beyond Burger on there. If you're cooking a veggie burger or whatever you're cooking, you could chop it up and do it more of like a saute. I like keeping it whole. Okay, you guys, this is getting real juicy over here. The tomatoes are producing so much liquid and juice, you really would never need any oil. I'm gonna try to show you. I'm a very professional YouTuber. You see it? Okay. So really that's it. It will keep cooking. Remember, the whole point of using oil is just to cook the main food that it's not about the tomatoes in this. It's really just kind of creating something for the veggie burger or whatever you're making to cook in, and it's healthier. And we're adding no fat. We're just adding antioxidants. As that cooks, I'm just gonna give you the last tip, which I don't really need to show you, and that's water. So this kind of sounds weird, but I don't know if you guys have ever done a water saute. I'm sure a bunch of people watching this will have tried water and said, I can't believe you didn't know that. But for those of you who don't know about a water saute, you can chop up onions, garlic, anything, and just use a little bit of water and it will replace the need for oil. It obviously doesn't taste the same as oil. Oils will give it a little more fragrance, but oil will give it a little more flavor and fragrance. But one thing I suggest too is you don't have to use this as the end all. You could also do tomato and a little bit of oil, or like water and a little bit of oil, or kind of mix it up. It's just a way to either cook with less fat or no fat. So kind of play around with it, see what you like. Another trick I've mentioned in some of my videos is when I'm baking, I'll like right at the end, I'll drizzle a little bit of olive oil just so it's like still warm on there. You could even take your baked veggies, throw them on the pan for like 5 minutes once they're cooked and saute them in like a little oil on like very low heat, and you're still getting the benefit. So think outside the box. There's a lot of cool little tips and tricks you can do. Also guys, if you like little tips and tricks like this and you want to see some more, I created a free video for you that basically shows you everything I do to fight cravings. So if I have a sweet tooth craving, if I have like a potato chip craving or french fry or cereal, whatever it is, I've found like little ways through the years to completely trick my taste buds into thinking I'm eating it, but eating something much healthier. So go to the link in my description. You can check out that video and let me know what you think. If you guys have any tricks or any kind of tips you do to cook healthier, things you do besides cooking in the oven, let me know. I'd love to hear your suggestions. I like reading your comments too and seeing what you guys do. If you have any questions on this video, leave them in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.